What's up, everybody? You're very welcome to a brand new show here on Mundo Sporto. Myself and Jack Gill are going to sit down every week and give you our predictions for the Premier League results. And let's see who does better, Jack. I mean, I'm not saying it is a competition, but I want to crush you.
There'll be a competition. Let's make it a competition. But yeah, I'm never any good at predicting these, as you probably saw from my prediction a few weeks ago. So we'll keep push.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie, mate. My predictions haven't been the May West either. So we'll kick off straight with the Burnley-Arsenal game. That's kicking off 12:30 on Saturday. With tomorrow, we're recording this on Friday. So, I mean, I'll give you first crack at this one. Burnley, obviously, coming off the back of a good draw against Leicester City. That kind of surprised us all. What do you think for this one?
1-0 Arsenal. I toyed with another draw for Burnley, a 0-0, a bit of a boring game. For the majority of the season, I've been calling Arsenal, a Mediterranean Burnley. But I think it'll be 1-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on an Arsenal win. I think I was very surprised at the result against Leicester City. That was a great win for Arsenal. So I'll go 2-1. I think Burnley will pinch a goal, but I'll go 2-1 on this one. So at least we're in agreement that we can see the Gunners getting the 3. Sheffield United, Southampton, which again, in theory, should be an easy game for us to. But Sheffield United coming off the back of a great win over Aston Villa. So who knows here?
I think 1-1. That's what I'm going with for this one. Southampton haven't been in the greatest of form themselves. As you say, Sheffield United got a decent win in midweek and really need one last big push, don't they, if they've got any hope of trying to stay up. So, yeah, I'm going with 1-1.
I'm going to go for another away win. I'm going to go for Southampton to win this one again. I think they've been unlucky recently. I think they play better than the results have shown. So I think I'm going to go 1-0 to Southampton for my prediction on this one. So we differ on this one a little bit. Midlands derby then coming up 5:30. The next game on Saturday, Aston Villa taking on Wolves. It's another pick 'em, buddy, isn't it? It is a real 50-50 game, this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw. I think I would back a Villa win if Grealish was fit. But it seems like Grealish won't be available for this one, and I feel like it'll be tight. It'll be a close game, and I feel like it might be 0-0.
Do you know what? I was a little bit not disappointed in Wolves' performance against Man City, but there was a period there at 1-1 where I thought they were going to go on and nick that game. But as Man City, like we did last season, they just have a little glint in their eye, don't they, that we will get this done somehow, some way, we'll get over the line, and they ended up winning that game comfortably. So I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1 in this one. But were you impressed with Wolves in that little spell that I was speaking about against City?
It's an interesting one. I thought they rode their luck a lot in that game. Wolves, obviously, they scored with their first shot as well. And then I was doing the game obviously on Mundo Sporto at the time, and Wolves looked better when they brought Fabio Silva on from the standpoint of going forwards, but defensively they sat back far too much, as many teams do against Manchester City, and just invited pressure. And if you do that against City, they're bound to have several opportunities because their creativity is fantastic. And once they got one Manchester City, they steamrolled Wolves in the end. But I do think there was some positive signs from a Wolves perspective. I thought Connor Cody was absolutely outstanding again at the back. I thought there was some positives from a Wolves point of view, but they've been a shadow of themselves this season, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Pedro Neto just needs to come and join us, doesn't he? Let's be honest with it. Like, we need to save the lad. Hashtag save Pedro. The next one, 8 p.m. kickoff. A game that I think this is a tough one to call. Brighton against Leicester City. Leicester City, I don't want to say in free fall, Jack, but, they've lost Harvey Barnes, and they aren't the Leicester City that dispatched us very, very well. 3-1 when they beat us after going 1-0 down. So I think Brighton and Graham Potter have been extremely unlucky with penalty misses, opportunity. They're creating a lot of chances. They're just not putting the ball in the net. So how do you feel this one will go?
I'm going to back another draw. I'm going to say 1-1. I think, as you say, Leicester are struggling with injuries recently. They really are. And I'm hopeful that Brighton will turn their current form around, because they play really nice football under Graham Potter. They're a side that I like, and I like watching, and I hope they remain in the Premier League. So they need to start picking up points, and I believe they will do. They just need to sort out their goal scoring problem. But I do believe Leicester will drop yet more points in this one.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think eventually Leicester have to come good and pick up 3 points. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Leicester City in this one. I think Brighton's struggles in front of goal will continue. And I'm like you. I enjoy watching Graham Potter's teams play football. I genuinely do think they have a good crop of players there with Lamptey, Ben White and Basuma, and a few other players that have big futures ahead of them. And I hope they stay up as well. Moving into Sunday then, Jack, the 12 p.m. kickoff, the game that, let's be honest, nobody wants to watch, is West Brom against Newcastle.
Yeah, it's a bit of a relegation scrap, isn't it, down there? And, I fancy West Brom. I'm honestly going to say a 1-0 to West Brom there. Newcastle have a few, offensive injuries. I think Almiron, Maximan and Wilson are all absent. And West Brom under Sam Allardyce have began picking up the odd point recently. And I feel like I was toying between 0-0 and a 1-0 win for West Brom. And I am going for 1-0 to West Brom, which I think will throw Newcastle right down in that battle.
Yeah, there's something not right in that Newcastle camp. We heard the Matt Ritchie story obviously come out during the week, and he's since apologised for that one. There's been a bit of an SOS sent out to Rafa from some of the fans as well with regards to Newcastle. And you know what, mate? I think you've got this one spot on. I genuinely do. I think West Brom were pushing right to the end against Everton yesterday. They had a late goal, correctly ruled out for offside, but it was ruled out. And I think I'm going to agree with you. I think a 1-0 win for West Brom is probably a great shout on this one. And they have played some good football at times. They do have some decent players there at West Brom, and I don't think they'll be saved, but if they can pull this one out of the bag, get that 3 points, then there really is a fight between West Brom, Newcastle and Fulham there, isn't there?
They've got the right manager for it. You can see from Allardyce's records, he doesn't go down without a fight. And West Brom don't really have the players to remain in the Premier League, but they certainly have the manager who, you back to keep teams up. And I do think they'll go down, but I don't think Allardyce will let them go down without a fight. And I think I can see them picking up 3 points in this one.
Then 2 p.m. on Sunday comes the game that we're mainly concerned about, coming off the back, and I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth, Mr. Gill, but 5 Premier League losses in a row at Anfield. Scott Parker and Fulham rock up. I haven't been impressed with what Scott Parker's done at Fulham. I just don't think they have the Premier League quality, but they are certainly playing for the manager, and I'm not expecting an easy afternoon for us.
No, me neither. It's thinking about a realistic scoreline for this one, because Fulham have really impressed me of late. They've built a side who are difficult to break down, difficult to beat. I thought they were very, very unlucky last night. That handball decision was absolutely pathetic, a ludicrous decision. And you've noticed today that IFAB have changed the rules probably based on that decision. But for me, I'm going with 1-0 to Liverpool. I think it's going to be close, but I think we're gonna just snatch a win there. I think it's going to be a penalty. I think it's going to be a scrappy, nasty game, a frustrating game, but I do think we'll come away victorious finally.
I'm going to go a little bit more optimistic. I'm going to go 2-0, and I'm going for Diogo Jota and Mohamed Salah to score the goals. I mean, I really feel this game has a Diogo Jota goal written all over it. I was quite impressed with him last night coming off the bench, Jack. He didn't look rusty one bit to me.
No, he didn't. And, I thought before the game we'd see half an hour of Diogo, and we did. I'm still confused as to why it was Salah that went off. I thought, Firmino and Mai was significantly worse than him last night. And I don't know how they managed 90 minutes, but Salah was dragged off with half an hour to go. But I feel like Jota will be back in the starting lineup at the weekend, probably replacing Firmino, and it'll be interesting to see how we get on with that front three that obviously performed so well against Atalanta in the Champions League earlier on in the season.
So the 4:30 Sunday kickoff, probably fair to say the biggest game of the weekend, the one that I'll be in a watch along here on Mundo Sporto, the Manchester Derby. What are your thoughts on this one? Are we going to see City get number, I think, 23 in a row, or can Manchester United do anything to stop them?
They just seem too good at the minute, and Manchester United are on a bit of a decline, aren't they? I think Bruno Fernandes has had 2 FPL game weeks with no score whatsoever, which is, unlike him. I believe I saw something the other day where he's never gone 3 games in a row without it. So people will expect him to turn up at the weekend, but his record against the top 6 isn't too great, is it? And City are in spectacular form. They're only 4 wins away, I believe, from clinching the title now, and I back them to win in this one too. I'm thinking a 1-0 win.
Yeah, I put out a tweet the other day that said this Manchester City team just look like, no matter what the circumstance, they have a look in their eye that says, we're going to find a way. We're going to find a way to get that win. We recognise that look, mate, because we had it ourselves last season. And I can't see United winning this game either. I've got to be honest with you. I think they could potentially get a draw if they can frustrate City for long enough. But I think I'm with you on this one. I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win for Manchester City. But, that's no slight on United because City are just different gravy this season.
And it's interesting we've seen from City in recent games. They're almost like puppeteers. They have the game the whole way through, exactly where they want it, and they dictate possession. They slowly build up the play, have the games where they want them, and then when they want to change the pace and try and burst into life and create something, they do it. And we saw it in that last 15 minutes against Wolves, where I thought they were phenomenal. And they've been outstanding since the turn of the year, and they're undoubtedly going to run away with the title.
The last game then on Sunday night is Spurs against Crystal Palace at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Seems to be another London derby. Got to so many of them every season that it's difficult to keep up with. But a bit of resurgence, especially for Gareth Bale there at Spurs, starting to show what he's capable of. How do you see this one go?
I'm going 4-1 to Spurs. We saw that front 4 from Spurs yesterday that I thought was really strong. Fulham did really well to contain them. And Dele Alli's coming back into form. Gareth Bale too. They've got Kane, Son. Going forwards, they're an absolute nightmare to play against Spurs. But their defence is what's let them down this season. And I tell you what, if Jose Mourinho can recruit a couple of decent centre backs for them in the summer, they're going to be a real force next season.
I agree. Home win on this one again for me. Watching Palace against United, they had a few moments, but nothing to really write home about. So I'll probably go with a 2-0 home win, but I think we're both in agreement there. It should be a fairly handy, straightforward 3 points for Spurs. Moving on to the Monday games, then another cracker of a game, to be fair. 6 o'clock on Monday, Chelsea against Everton. The good news for us is somebody's dropping points in this game as we try and somehow claw our way back in to that top 4 race. Mate, how do you see this one go?
Chelsea looked so strong last night, and I know we didn't help proceedings with our poor performance, but Chelsea looked so resurgent under Thomas Tuchel, and they've been really impressive, and I'd back them to beat Everton as well. I think it'll be a 1-0 win for them. But for me, I back Chelsea now to finish second. I really do. I think with everyone in that top 4 and around the top 4 seem to not want it at the moment. But Chelsea made the decision to get rid of Frank Lampard. They've replaced him really well. That back 3 is working for them. He seems to have brought Timo Werner into form. And they're looking really good at the minute. And I back them to beat Everton, who themselves have looked good recently on Monday night.
Yeah, Everton come off a couple of a battle of decent results, and with Charleston scoring a couple of important goals for them as well. I hear where you are on this one. Maybe this is me being a bit optimistic, buddy, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I was impressed with Everton at Anfield as well when they came, and they had a different look about them. They've all come to Anfield in recent years and they've looked like a beaten team. But under Carlo Ancelotti, they've had belief, and I don't think they'll be daunted by going to Stamford Bridge. But I mean, maybe it's just me being optimistic, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 in that one. 8 o'clock kickoff then on the Monday night, West Ham against Leeds United. This game for me has goals written all over it.
Yeah, I was just thinking then, I wonder how many 1-0s I've gone with so far. I feel like I've gone with quite a few. But this one is one I certainly won't be going 1-0. I feel like there's plenty of goals in this one. I think it'll be 2-2 personally. I've been impressed with West Ham this season. They're a side that I have a little soft spot for. I like how well drilled they are under David Moyes. Big fan of Thomas Soucek. I think Soufal has really worked for them as well. Lingard, what a terrific loan signing for them in January. He's come in and really impressed. And they're going to struggle to keep hold of Declan Rice in the summer because he is a phenomenal talent, in my opinion. And they're really pushing for top four. But Leeds, as well, on their day, are a very good side. And as I say, I think there's goals in this one. I was thinking 2-1 to West Ham, but I think Leeds will do enough for a point, and I think it'll be 2-2.
Yeah, I think Leeds need a result as well. They haven't been on the greatest run, and you know, usually with Leeds games, they are good watches. They're good end-to-end games, and I've got to agree with you again. I'm going Desmond on this one, exactly as yourself. 2-2 for me. Do you want to have a look ahead? There's another game. There's a game on the 10th and the 12th as well, if you want to have a quick look at those, because we probably won't be recording till next Friday again ahead of the weekend. So we'll move on then to Manchester City against Southampton, which is a 6 o'clock kickoff on the 10th.
I'm going to say 3-0 to Manchester City in that one.
I'm going to say 3-1 to Manchester City in that one. I can see Southampton somehow managing to get a goal. Yeah, look, that's been our first predictions video, and no doubt myself and Jack will sit down again next Friday and go through the following weekend, and we'll see how we get on this weekend, Jack. But, you know, the most important one from our point of view as Liverpool fans is to stop this rot at home. And you can't let it get to 6 games, mate. We just can't.
Well, first time in our history that it's been 5, and you know, to have Fulham come to Anfield, we can't let it be 6. I made a joke last night that, you know, the best news of the night was the fact that the second leg won't be being played at Anfield because our form there at the moment is that bad. But we don't have time to carry on dropping points, mate. You know, we suffered another hit last night as far as top 4 is concerned. And we can't suffer many more of those. So, you know, we're going to have to turn it around and fast and starting on Sunday. But I sound like a broken record because it seems like every week before Liverpool play at the minute, I'm saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's tough. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we'd love to know what you guys have to say. So by all means, put your score predictions in the comments below. Drop a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button because there's so much more content coming up on Mundo Sporto over the coming weeks and months. Thank you to Jack for joining me. And next week, buddy, one of us is going to be gloating. So may the best man win.
We'll be gloating more if Liverpool win.
That'll do. I'll take getting every other one wrong if Liverpool win. That'll do me rather nicely. But look, thank you to Jack. Thank you to you guys as always. Take care. Have a cracking weekend and we'll talk to you soon.